So I know we've been hearing about the Evercade Alpha for a while, but didn't know exactly what it was. Then it surfaces. I'm still not exactly sure what it is. It's definitely different than what I didn't know really what to expect, but I didn't expect what I saw. Uh, when you came across it, what was your reaction?
So I've been thinking about getting a versus, an Evercade versus. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm already in the Evercade ecosystem. In fact, just today, as we're recording this, another cartridge arrived in the mail. Because I love my props. But that just happened to be here because it just came before we started recording this. So I'm already in the Evercade ecosystem. I've been thinking about a versus for the game room, and the new model of the versus R, just is in pre-orders now, which is a little bit cheaper. But they have announced that the alpha was coming, whatever that was going to be, and they're also going to have even larger cartridges now. The Evercade Gig cartridges, which will be able to handle more 32-bit, 64-bit games. In fact, this cartridge, which is not one of those Gig cartridges, has their first Nintendo 64 game on there, which is pretty cool. So we're getting bigger games. There was already a couple of PlayStation games that have popped up on stuff and some arcade games. So bigger games are coming. That's exciting. So I assumed that the alpha would be tied to that. Like maybe it was just going to be a more powerful version of the verses. So I was holding out to see. What we got though is not at all what I was expecting.
No, I don't know. A couple side notes. One for the versus R, they need to do a special pirate version and have it be the versus R because I think that would be pretty cool. And then the second thing is just some just some backstage information for the Panda Army out there who watches Bug Panda. As you could probably tell, we plan our shows out months in advance. There's a strict and rigorous schedule as we develop all the stories and what we're going to do. The writer's room, lots of activity going on. This allows Mike to synchronize his Amazon deliveries so that he has a prop for whatever show we're going to be talking about. So it's not coincidence that it happened to show up. It's all a ploy on Mike's part to get more things to use as props. So just thought I'd dispel the magic a
You're
little
on to me.
bit. Yeah, but boy, back to the alpha, not at all what I thought and not at sure exactly why anyone. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I was going to say why anybody would need it, but I guess there are a couple elements about it. If you're going to do a bar top, to me, one of the always the biggest downsides on a bar top was if it was the right form factor for your situation, great, and the bar tops would have a certain number of games on it, but you were pretty narrow cast into that for a bar top or a countertop. Uh, and so this seems to address that problem quite nicely, where you could put in whatever Evercade cartridge you wanted to in one of their two cartridge slots. And I thought also the first time I've seen a logical use for a coin slot because it's the on button. It makes perfect sense. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I was so for anybody who hasn't picked up on it, it is a bar top arcade. That is what the alpha is. So they're making the jump into arcades. Which is interesting because I have been kicking around the idea of getting some sort of bar top. We've talked about on here a few times, but I've specifically been in the market for a versus. So this might be the intersection that I'm gonna go with because I'll get a bar top. So it sticks with the kind of more arcade feel of the room. Because that was the only thing I think that was holding me off on the verses a little bit is I don't want too many consoles in the game room. I really want it to have more of an arcade feel and then also have consoles, not the other way around. So this gets me another arcade kind of thing in there, but it also will, kind of take the place of the verses. It has the two cartridge slots, and this form factor wise is kind of like the Neo Geo was, where you would swap out cartridges inside the cabinet. So I
Except you don't have to
really,
go inside the cabinet.
yeah, you
You
don't
can
have to
just
actually take apart the cabinet to do it. Just has two cartridge slots on there. The other thing too is there are going to be two different models of this. They're both Capcom. One is Mega Man focused, and the other is Street Fighter focused. Street Fighter has been one of the big things that's missing from my game room. Obviously, I have a bunch of Street Fighter games for all of the systems, including Saturn now. But a Street Fighter cabinet of some sort, I have specifically held off on. I I feel like the arcade one-up cabinets have been really, really close, but not quite there. They did the head-to-head cocktail style cabinet, but it was kind of on the short side, and I don't really want to mod it a lot to make it playable for somebody who's of normal height. They showed in a video that they were working on a pub table of Street Fighter, which has yet to materialize. And all they've done is just kind of revamped their existing Street Fighter cabinet over the past few years and taken off some of the better games. So I'm just not super thrilled with what's been coming out with Street Fighter. So this might, kind of tick a lot of boxes for me. Give me a Street Fighter piece of arcade equipment, stick with my arcade theme, and kind of give me a versus all in one.
Yeah. And your existing library of Evercade cartridges are now all in play for
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I already have a bunch of I don't have all of them. I haven't been, collecting them in that sense, just grabbing the ones that I really like. But I have a bunch of these cartridges now. So I have a nice library of games I can add to this. And there's something that seems really cool and appealing about playing, Duke Nukem and Flashback and Out of This World on a bar top cabinet.
yeah, with what looks like pretty solid controls. That's not cheapo controls, so you're gonna be able to do that. 8-inch screen, so that's not great, but form factor wise works out just fine if you're sitting at a counter playing it. It's
Right.
you don't need a massive screen on that.
Yeah, and it does have, like, to Kelly's point, it does have some premium controls on there, and you can upgrade those even further. They are offering upgrades on that. It also has a marquee where you can swap out the marquee for different games. So you can upgrade to the swappable marquee thing. The marquee does light up, which a lot of these bar top cabinets don't. And that's not a huge issue for me. It's nice, but that's not going to make or break for me. Obviously, it has a faux coin slot for all you sluts out there. We know you guys love it.
It doubles as a start button, though.
Yeah,
Again,
so
I'm gonna give them props. Best execution of a slot door.
it
Yeah, the
does.
coin slot for me.
It also, you can use controllers, so you don't have to use multiple people can play. So you can play two-player games like Street Fighter. One person can use a controller, another one could use the arcade controls, or you could both use controllers. And there are alpha specific controllers, but it'll use versus controllers. And from what it looks like, just general USB controllers as well. So does give you a lot of options. So, and honestly, the price point for what it is, I don't think is too bad. It's a little over 200, which puts it just, I think, a few dollars short of the arcade one-up ones. Only this has 6 games, which is more than the arcade one-up bar tops. And of course, with the cartridge slots, it has 500 games because that's what Evercade is up to now.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, as we started the conversation, because I was initially just kind of cool to it, because I was like, a cartridge based um, countertop. Wasn't sure, but certainly, I mean, for your specific needs, it ticks a bunch of marks for you there, particularly with the Street Fighter stuff. But just for about any kind of setup, usually you can find a place to put a countertop, and that as I've toyed with getting into the Evercade ecosystem as well, not really sure which way I was going to go with it. Um, I'm starting to kind of wonder, this may be the way to go, because I do would like to get into the Evercade ecosystem because I like the game collections they're doing. They got an Amiga one, they got some good variety of stuff. So I may have to rethink my original type of thing. But yeah, and also the price. I mean, it's like 229. So it is, um, it's not
It's
cheap,
a
but
Game
it's
Boy.
not. Yeah, it's you're talking about a analog pocket or a um, chromatic. So yeah, I mean it is. That's weird that uh, you can get a countertop for the same price as something that you can put in your pocket. So and the flexibility. I mean, it's mixed emotions on the swap out marquee, because it seems, I'm a lazy guy. I'm like, I'm not going to switch the marquee out because I just put in a new cartridge. Use your
Yeah, I'm
imagination.
honestly not never gonna switch out the marquee if I get it, because I want the Street Fighter look to it. But I like that I can just pop my cartridges in and out because this
Oh
gives
yeah,
me the form factor of a versus, or the functionality rather of a versus,
yeah.
but gives me the form factor of something Street Fighter, which I feel like the game room has been missing because I haven't been 100% sold on the different Street Fighter products that have been coming out.
Hmm. Interesting. Cool. Well, we'd like to hear from the Panda Army. And part of the way we hear from you is if you like and subscribe, check the channel out, the Bog Panda. Hit that bell, you're notified when new stuff comes out. Check out our merchandise, which will include the I Have Big Monster Hands t-shirt referenced in a previous show, amongst many, many others, including Dr. Mike's Chlorine and Piranhas store, which is still kind of one of my favorite ones. Outside of the Panda Army t-shirts, which are great too. So you should check all those out. And of course, listen to Hard No, the world's shortest podcast. Less than a minute of deep insights. And don't worry, the current run of Hard Nose will be over soon.
I don't know,
We
they've
will be
done pretty well.
it will be over soon, and we
They've done
will
pretty well.
return to a variety of topics. We're a little centered on one. It's still worth listening to, but just let you know we'll have broader vistas. Just hang in there. All I ask. I'm pleading. It's Mike's fault. All that kind of stuff for hard no. See, you got to
I'll
check it
be
out now. See what I'm
acquitted. Don't
talking about.
worry.
What was that?
Be acquitted. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure you will. Can always appeal. Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's it. I just be more succinct. I think I'm sold on this.
You have. I came in a skeptic, all those minutes ago, and now I'm like, why don't I have one of these? This would be a pretty great way to go. I'm thinking about what spot I'd put it in. It would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it gets me a bar top, it gets me my Street Fighter, and I already have a bunch of these cartridges anyway.
yeah,
So I got tons of games to load in there.
yeah, works for that. And if you're looking to enter the Evercade ecosystem, this seems like a pretty interesting form factor to do it with. So I don't know, may be bubbling more up to the top of my list after.
And it comes assembled for people like me
Oh,
that
that's
matters
nice.
too. Yeah. It does, they did mention that it comes assembled.
That's good. Yeah, the At Games Legend came half-ish assembled. We've got a video showing the assembly of it, which wasn't bad. But what was nice was the whole kind of top unit, which is the countertop or bar top, basically.
Yeah.
That did come assembled. So that is good news because I just as soon have it come in that way. So cool. All right. As always, folks, really appreciate you checking out our content. Let us know if there's other stuff you'd like to see us covered. Hit that bell, as I mentioned before. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.